Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Honkai Impact 3rd reaction. Today we have the Duolingo boss theme, and I know that that's not how you pronounce his name, but it is kind of funny, and also I can't find a pronunciation anywhere online that I can trust, so it's either that or Beast of Sacrifice, and honestly calling him Duolingo is kind of just funnier to me. I get this image of a giant green owl trying to fight me, so that's what I'm gonna go with. But this was requested in the last video by Slime Tensei Impact, and it had just enough votes to outvote another one, so congratulations to them. I'll be listening to this one, and without further ado, let's go! Really jumping right in with that tension. That's getting so spooky right off the bat. It's almost feeling a little bit Doom-esque. Like cinematic Doom. Ooh! I'm guessing Beast of Sacrifice is, like, literal? Demonic, maybe? It's kind of going for that vibe, I think. What a crack on that snare sample, too. Jesus. I swear if this whole song is for that little dog. If that's the Beast, and it's got a theme like this, come on. Okay. That's a different location. Gonna get a little techno? Nope. Ooh. Just leaning in even harder to the metal. Okay. Woo. Wait a minute. Are we sure this isn't Mick Gordon who composed this? Are we sure this isn't just the guy who wrote Doom music? They're just genting all over the place, dude. How many open strings can you play? That's epic as hell. Maybe literally. Even the drums are kind of like what Mick Gordon writes. Maybe it was just heavily inspired by this, because like... it almost feels too much like Doom. It might just be heavily inspired. can never tell if we're like at the peak of where it's going. Oh, that was it. Okay, it would just like loop from there. Damn. That stayed on its energy that whole time. I didn't even remember that there were phases to that. This whole song, I was like, oh, this is just one big song after that like intro sequence. I didn't even feel like there was another phase after that transition away from like the little dog image. So I checked the credits just to make sure Mick Gordon wasn't a part of this. He wasn't. It was somebody named SifuLee who played the guitar and I assume composed the guitar parts in there because he is credited as one of the composers in this. But like, man, was he channeling that like Devil May Cry doom sound. It was just so heavy. It had all of that gent energy. And I guess if you're gonna go for that demonic sound in video game music, that's kind of the go-to at this point. Mick Gordon did a lot, and of course the Devil May Cry series kind of started that energy when it came to having that sound be correlated with demons. So I'm assuming that little dog that I saw is probably a demon of some sort. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it probably transforms into a much bigger dog. I wouldn't be shocked if it was like Cerberus or something, because like, why wouldn't it be? It's a demon dog. That's the first thing you think of. 1 + 1 = 2. What I do on this channel, by the way, is not hard a lot of the times when it comes down to like guessing what the songs are and like what may happen during these tracks. It's just putting context clues that I get through the song and sometimes imagery like this case and just going what makes the most sense. So for me, this little tiny dog turning into Cerberus, or at least some giant demon dog, totally makes sense. I'm just not sure if that's the case, so I leave that all up to you to tell me if I'm stupid. But really, what's going on with like having this sound, this inspiration? I just had another song like a couple weeks ago that went for this exact same sort of tone, and I thought it was Mick Gordon as well. I'm like, what's going on here? And we have another song that kind of goes for that same approach musically, so I'm just kind of intrigued by that like everyone all at once was like, yeah, listen to these, they're all kind of similar, and that's fine. But also, like, I don't know if I can really talk too much about a lot of the stuff in here because it is very straightforward. A lot of these songs on the guitar are just kind of open notes. That's the point of gent in a way. It's not even really a genre if you ask certain people, but basically it's just kind of tuning all the way down on your electric guitar and like leaving that fattest string open, that 6th string. That's exactly what it is. It's just having that big chug that comes from that sound and that low tone. That's kind of what makes gent a thing, and why that sound has kind of become so synonymous with like demonic imagery, because it's metal and they just made it really heavy, so even heavier than what we've known classically as heavy metal. That's kind of what gent did. It just leaned really hard into making things sound angry. So, you know, demons, angry metal, there you go. It's, again, what I do here isn't all that complex. It's mostly context clues, but that's exactly why these sorts of songs work for demonic sorts of things, because we're already correlating that heavier sound with something that may be evil or demonic. So then you just take that and crank it even further by having such a heavy distorted guitar tone. There you go. It's just right there. But the other factor I can talk about a little bit more personally is how they match the drums to that rhythm. Because of how they write the guitar parts and they have to keep chugging on that lowest string, they have to have, you know, those notes in there. That lowest string has to keep being returned to on the guitar, and it always has this really heavy presence in the mix. So when you're playing the drums for something like that, usually the drums are kind of matching that rhythm section anyway. They'd either be matching to the bass or the rhythm guitar, sometimes a mix of both. It really just depends on what genre you're playing for, and sometimes they do detach, but most of the time, especially in metal too, they tend to just kind of go with each other and play to the same beat because that rhythm all works together. It creates this really heavy atmosphere in the sound mix overall, and that's what they're doing here. All of the stuff going on in the drums for this is just matching to that rhythm, that heavy pace, and aspects of the drums like the double pedal in there that like you're getting this constant hitting where they're going through these chugs and matching that on the guitar, and every single time you get one of those big flicks of that biggest string on the guitar, they're like re-kicking into the new measure. It's just that way of writing makes the sound so big and so impactful that that's kind of why people love to hear this sort of thing, and why it sounds like somebody's beating you over the head with with a mallet, because it kind of feels that way when you have all of that sound just being shoved straight into your ear holes all at once. So this song nailed that approach. They nailed getting to that aesthetic and going for that Mick Gordon sort of sound. Whether or not that was their inspiration or intention, it almost definitely sounds like it, so I'd be surprised if it wasn't the case. But man, they went there, they went all out, and this song is an absolute banger. Again, I didn't even notice that there were phases beyond that like first little section there. We had that intro, that was obvious, that little dog section, and then once it transitioned, didn't hear another one. So that last two sections of that song, just insanely clean all the way through, felt so natural, working its way all the way to the end, and it just hits you like a ton of bricks, and damn if that isn't badass. But that's about all I gotta say for this one, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you have another theme, another set, another OST that you want me to get to from Honkai, let me know down in the comments below, and I will do my best to get to it as always. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!